I think it's worth going back and remembering, and I pointed this out in my remarks last week, 2 weeks ago at Jackson Hole, 10 days ago, that what Paul Volcker did and the Fed did to finally get inflation under control followed several failed attempts to get inflation under control. And what had happened over the course of that long period of the great inflation is that the public had really come to think of higher inflation as the norm and to expect it to continue. And that's what made it so hard to get inflation down in that case. So it is very much our view and my view that we need to act now forthrightly, strongly, as we have been doing, and we need to keep at it until the job is done to avoid that. We think we can avoid the kind of very high social costs that Paul Volcker and the Fed had to bring into play in order to get inflation back down and set us up then for a long period of price stability. Um, that speech, the point really there was to deliver a speech that was narrowly focused on inflation, more direct and a lot shorter than a typical Jackson Hole speech. And I thought that what was appropriate was a very, kind of concise and focused message. To your question, the message really was that the Fed has and accepts responsibility for price stability, by which we mean 2% inflation over time. That, again, to your question, the longer inflation remains well above target, the greater the risk that the public does begin to see higher inflation as the norm. And that has the capacity to really raise the costs of getting inflation down. So finally, history cautions strongly against prematurely loosening policy. I can assure you that my colleagues and I are strongly committed to this project, and we will keep at it until the job is done. I can also assure you that we never take into consideration external political considerations. We are accountable to the public through Congress. That's a very fundamental, important aspect of our work. But we do not. We focus solely on the goals that Congress has given us, and that's what we're going to do here.